Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this session where I'll be speaking on online learning and its impact on students. Well, let me take this opportunity to thank EC Council University for providing this wonderful platform for me to share my background and my experience in the area of online learning and its impact on students. I'm really very excited. For as you will hear from me later, I've spent nearly 30 years in this area. And I've spent it on research and writing and promoting it. So for those of you who are here with me today, thank you for your confidence, not just in me, but also in believing that online learning will be the new norm, the new future for all of us in education and in other areas of work, and also because it is a phenomenon that we all cannot ignore. Well, so let me begin with a wonderful quotation from somebody I've admired all my life, Gandhiji, who says, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow, and learn as if you were to live forever." Well, I'm in the learning business. I've not stopped learning, and I've sincerely believed in what he says. I use the present tense because I think it is something that will live on forever. And I believe that we should learn as if we will live forever, that there will be no tomorrow, just today. So let me put a little twist to it and say, you will live forever, listen carefully, you will live forever if you do not let learning to die. Well, one has to live with this spirit as well as to have it and believe in it physically, spiritually, mentally, and then you will understand why I believe that we have to keep on learning as if we were to live forever, because that's what lifelong learning is all about. And why today technology has enabled us to pursue and move into a seamless and borderless world. My objective today is to talk to you about a few areas in online learning and how it impacts students. Firstly, I will look at the current state of online learning. I think I should not just generalize, but this is a period of the pandemic caused by the COVID-19. And so what has the marvel of online learning done for this period? And I will look at the benefits of online learning. And one cannot ignore Industry 4.0 and what it has done to enable online learning. So therefore, I will also talk about online learning and its impact on the impact of online Industry 4.0 and its impact on online learning. Being someone who has been in academia for so many years, for me, success in online learning has to look into learning styles and theories of learning, because online learning is not a new phenomenon, but it's a new phenomenon for a lot of people. I hope you agree with me, especially in this digital age. So let me get on to the very first objective that I said I would speak about, and that would be the current state of online learning during the pandemic. So here are some shocking statistics, or statistics that are significant. Worldwide, we see that around 19 million cases of infection have been recorded, or even more, because I looked at it on the 6th of October. More than 700 deaths have occurred This is definitely the rhetoric of a crisis. This is not normal time. This is not a normal time. For me, this is a time of stress. This is a time of disruption. This is a time of breakdown of normal life and learning. And it is a phenomenon that we have never seen before. As a result of which, about 60% of the world's student population is affected by this national feature of lockdowns. And it is a startling fact that more than 1 billion students and learners have been affected worldwide. Look at this figure, more than 50%, actually close to about 68% of total enrolled learners have been affected by this horrible attack on the entire world, as a result of which about 144 countrywide closures have occurred in schools and institutions of higher learning. I have a wonderful graph here. Thanks to the UNESCO, we can already see about how more than 1 billion students who have been affected, and this is the staggering impact of COVID-19 on global education. In the United States, more than 200 universities have cancelled face-to-face, or what they call in-person classes. And in the Commonwealth, more than 574 million students have been affected. Now, what is this effect on that has happened? We see that it has widened learning inequities, and it has hurt vulnerable children and youth disproportionately. So youth and learners are actually the victims. Now, I have made this out. I've always been in the area of schools, and this is what I imagined. So I have put this out for you. Look at this little boy. He says, oh my God, it's locked down. What am I going to do? No classes. I have to be stuck at home. No friends. This is going to be a period of stress. So what does he do? He says he needs an angel. I need an angel. Can an angel come and help me? Yes, an angel has come, ladies and gentlemen. This is the angel I'm going to speak to you about. Remote learning, online learning. And we see that it is the catalyst of the online learning platform that is actually our savior. Especially, as I keep on saying, we have been affected by a tsunami-like attack worldwide. Now, what's another impact is that online learning is going to be seeing a new norm where we can learn anywhere, at any time, and at our own convenience. Here you see a wonderful lady at home, and she's saying, I'm online. I'm sure very often you would be speaking to people and they would say, you know, I'm busy, or you couldn't get me because I've been online. This is a new feature. So therefore, let's look at the benefits of online learning. What are the benefits? Why is online learning the answer to COVID-19? Why? Because one of the greatest benefits is that it helps us to build a more resilient education system for the future. We need something that's going to be foolproof. This reminds me of a time when there were prisoners who were locked up in the prison, who didn't have any opportunity to move on in bettering their lives. And online learning, which was called distance learning in the past and even today, which has helped them move on in their lives. So providing access to education is one of the benefits of online learning, and I hope you will agree. To me, it is the democratization of education, giving everybody a chance, no matter who you are, whatever your age is, where you come from, where you live, right? And this, one of the greatest benefits now that we've seen in this COVID period is that families have not been disrupted. I've seen women who can study from home, who can look after their children at the same time, all right? And more than anything else, they can keep their jobs. This is wonderful. You don't have to sacrifice everything just to get an education. Furthermore, yeah, I have a picture here for you. I hope it's clear. You see a woman in her living with her children all around with a laptop. Isn't this a familiar picture? So what it shows is that there's uninterrupted learning across the world with the use of technology, and that this is why we call online learning flexible learning. We can learn at our own pace, and we have our choice of study. So basically, one of the greatest benefits is that it is all about the transformation of education. Online learning has facilitated that, has enabled that, and the opportunities that would be made available. You can see here for EC Council University, also providing one of the greatest opportunities available because of their online platform and the opportunities that they provide to the world. So before I go on, I just wanted to clarify a few terms. One of which is distance learning, online learning. But I would like to share my passion about online learning very quickly, and if I have more time, I'll elaborate later on. I decided to do my PhD in this area because I had done my law degree as a distance learner, and I always wondered, what if I could have this opportunity? Furthermore, I also did some of other courses online, and I wondered why with 3 children, can't we give the same type of opportunities to everyone? So I launched myself into studies and research that focused on online learning. And more so, my area of research was on the learner. What makes a learner studying on its own remotely successful? That was the area of my research. And if you're interested, you can always get in touch with me and I can talk to you about that. But and so here we are. This is a picture to show you that online learning has actually become a buzzword. Now, this little cartoon here says that, everybody has to take the same test, all right? So this is something where you have a fixed learning format. But with online learning, there's so much of flexibility that, it is something that will fit into everybody's timeline, everybody's capability, and everybody's ability. So I'd say that distance learning, I'd mentioned that I would like to clear this fact very quickly. Distance learning is basically an umbrella term. It's an online learning is one of those aspects of distance learning. You can get distance learning, meaning that you study at a distance, but you would need internet access. It could be via radio, it could be via correspondence. You have University of the Air in Japan using radio, so that's distance learning. But what is online learning? I hope this will clarify some of your doubts. Online learning actually here is the use of the internet. You must have internet to be an online learner. There is actually virtual distance and there must be a virtual platform. In the same context, we often talk about synchronous learning. Synchronous learning means learning online at the same time, like we're doing right now, like FaceTime. But asynchronous learning means that you don't learn at the same time. There is materials are uploaded and then you can go up and pace yourself in learning. This is also another form of online learning. On the other hand, I'm sure you've heard of e-learning. E-learning actually describes the courses that you take. In the past, we used to have DVD, but right now we have web-based platforms. For example, Skype, you have Zoom, you have Teams, go-to meetings, completely online, and it uses electronic technology. So I hope, ladies and gentlemen, I cleared some confusion if you've had anything, any questions regarding this. Now, as I said, I would also talk to you about Industry 4.0 and its impact on online learning. So what is Industry 4.0? 4.0 actually is a platform that focuses heavily on interconnectivity, especially with the Internet of Things. You have a more comprehensive, interlinked, and holistic platform for learning. It provides a platform where you have access to real-time data, automation, machine learning, big data, and I'm sure all of you know cyber-physical systems. All right, this may be interesting for you. We see that in the pre-COVID period, there was an estimate of nearly 18 billion US dollars that were spent on edtech investments. This is forecasted to increase to 350 billion by 2025. That's how big this area of online learning is. And you know, whether it is, we are talking about language apps, virtual tutoring, or video conferencing, or online learning software, this is as a result of the impact of online learning. Keeping to the same topic now, just to talk to you about and rounding up this section on Industry 4.0. Right now, we are communicating only because of the ability of web-based tools. All right, so we have these platforms, for example, Zoom and GoToMeetings, as I explained just now, Google Hangouts, Skype, or Webex. In addition to this, you need a learning management system. To me, very simply, a learning management system is like a campus, all right? But it all involves learning, unlearning, and relearning, because there's so much that's happening. Lots of things are changing every day, all right? Look at this picture. This would not have been possible 10 years ago. Today, it is something because everybody is practically online. So here we are, a picture. I'm not there and you're not there. This is something that I've put up. All right, so for me now, how do we look at the measure of success of online learning and its impact? For me, a tool that I use is satisfaction. I will very quickly run through a few areas of past research, and if we have time, we'll go deeper into it. If not, I will just go through it very, very generally. Past research to study satisfaction actually looked at content, learner and content interaction, like an interface, all right? People, in the past, I worked with it, online learning for 30 years, and I know we just focus on content all the time. So they wanted to study whether content actually led to satisfaction. Another area was always the learner's psychological or emotional state. Are you ready to study? Also, the demographic and cultural readiness. You know, are people in China more willing to learn it? Or what about people in Ethiopia? What about people in Canada or Malaysia or India? So these were areas. Also, I'm sure you'll be very excited to know this, that we always wondered whether students were ready. Were they ready? But in the time of the pandemic, readiness was not a question. Everybody went on board because we had no choice. Well, in the past, they also they studied learner and instructor interactions, quality of teaching and feedback. All right. So some of these areas you can see here. For example, Zuiban, Wang, and Cook, they found that students evaluated their instructors at the end of a program. based on the communication factor. Did professors communicate effectively with them? Were they encouraged in their learning? Were the courses organized effectively? All right. Did the professors show interest in the students' learning? Well, because you're on a virtual platform, students always ask this question. All right. Furthermore, if you looked at a model developed by Marsh and Roche way back in 1997, I'm giving you this date to show you that this is nothing new. Perceptions of satisfaction were very, very important. All right, like learning, enthusiasm, rapport, organization, interaction, coverage, and assessment. Again, the question of audio feedback. Oh, we love audio. Like the way you're listening to me now, right? It's all audio. Students, take heed. Those of you who are also lecturers here and content developers, students always loved audio feedback, right? So there's another research here by Isay All, another one by Key and Kwok. They looked into 5 elements. Here again, they looked into learners and learning, learner autonomy, independent learning, all right? And they also looked into technology competence. Again, they looked into perceptions. Now let me move on to a philosophy that I really love, and Socrates said, I have no answers, only questions. All right. I think this is what teachers do always. They love to ask questions. And I believe that we can only learn if we ask questions. So here I will touch again something that I promised you, that we will look into learning styles and theories in a digital age. Why is this important when I'm speaking about online learning and its impact? Why? Because for us who design materials, we have to look into the juxtaposition of our materials and the styles of our learners. What sort of learners are they? All right. Here, we look into the epistemologies. Actually, it refers to a branch of philosophy that investigates the origin, nature, methods, and limits of human knowledge. So course designers have to be cognizant of these theories. We do not have all that much time now, but it will be good to know that these theories that speak about objectivism, constructivism, connectivism, and faith-based theories have to become a part of our courses, to underscore our courses, all right? Again, we have to think about online pedagogy, all right? We have to look into computer-based learning. We have to look at how lecturers get on with lectures. We have to look at whether we are just putting up PowerPoint slides, or are these materials that are up there favorable to the learning and facilitating learning. Again, we look at problem-based learning. Today, there are so many MOOCs that are available. We have to look into that, and we have to also look at scholasticism and madrasas. What about learning theories and styles and how they affect the impact that we have? Again, from old schools of behaviorism, I remember Skinner and his work, cognitivism and thinking and learning styles, constructivism, networking and theology. So for those of you who have not thought about this, when you have all your wonderful content, please remember that for online learning to be effective, some of these areas have to be brought into the mainstream of instructional design. So what I would like to say is that the pandemic has actually been a blessing. It has been the catalyst that has brought worldwide recognition I know housewives who now know the word online. My children are online, they are online. Yes. So it's also about perception and readiness. And this is what I think will move us on to make this a platform which will be the new mantra for the years to come. This will be our mantra: online learning, distance learning, remote learning. Well, I'm an NLP fad. I believe and love and teach in areas of online learning and mind science. And I say that people have all the resources they need for change and success. There are so many online tools now that can be used. We have to use them. I use Kahoot, for example. There's no end of help online. We can get that. But we have to have a positive mindset to say, we can make it, it will happen, and online learning is the way forward. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been wonderful for this little opportunity that I have. And I look forward to any questions that you may have. Thank you and God bless you all. I love you all.